Hello, and thanks for tuning in to WP World News. I'm Sarah Campos. Tonight's story is about BPA and how it can affect the human body. To get a better understanding on why BPA is being used and the health concerns behind it, we will interview Stephen Richardson, a CEO of a company that relies on BPA, as well as Dr. Jezebel Franco. First up is Stephen Richardson. Stephen, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and the company you work for?
Good morning. My name is Stephen Richardson. I'm CEO of SABIC Innovative Plastics. We are one of the largest BPA plastic producers in the nation. We are, or were formerly known as GE Plastics. We're one of 5 companies in the industry, and we definitely form the group that produces BPA plastics.
How big is the BPA industry?
The BPA plastic industry is huge. It's a $6 billion a year industry. This industry derives its revenue from all kinds of production of BPA plastics. They're useful, and there's many and broad use of BPA plastic, not just food containers.
Why is it important to use BPA in your products?
Well, BPA is an interesting material. It's a synthetic hormone, and it's part of the building block that makes a polycarbonate plastic. These polycarbonate plastics are a great choice for food producers because of a number of things. They're cost effective, lightweight, and it helps to make the plastic shatter resistant and heat resistant as well. It also allows clarity to the plastic so you can see through them and see the material inside the plastic. BPA polycarbonates are also used in eyeglasses and a number of other things such as compact discs. Variety of materials used in offices, and it's just a very widely used additive to create strength and or clarity to plastics, heat resistance, all those things.
What type of economical impact would be caused if you eliminated BPA from your products?
Well, again, this hormone or this synthetic hormone used in the plastic to help harden it and help make it heat resistant, useful in a number of ways, helps the production of this plastic be cost effective, and it also allows the consumer to buy it at a cost effective price. If you took this out and eliminated it, it would cause a number of problems. These containers are immediately disposable when they're cracked or flawed, and then they can be recycled, and you can throw them away and not worry about it as long as it's recycled. We always are an advocate of recycling materials, and these products can be recycled into a number of things. Again, CD cases, they can be used for stuffing for pillows, carpet backing, even clothing and sweatshirts.
What type of measures is your company trying to take to prevent BPA from excreting into the products that it is holding?
Sarah, there's a lot of studies out there. They're both pro and con, but we've done a lot of in our own industrial studies and independent studies on BPA plastics and the effect on humans and the environment. Most our private studies have shown that it takes massive amounts of the BPA plastic on a daily basis to cause harm to anyone. It's so large, the number, that it's almost impossible to have someone use it that much to get any kind of damaging side effects. If you overuse any kind of plastic container of some kind, you're going to have some kind of negative side effects. Let's face the fact, BPA plastic is used in a number of other products as well that have no use for food. So it's a very durable, usable product. Market demand would not allow us to take it away at this point, and there's not enough concern to do so as either.
What are some of the benefiting factors of BPA?
BPA plastics help to create, again, I think we've alluded to this before, a cost-effective and reusable container. BPA plastics have a large range of use, creating a number of very useful products. These BPA plastics can also be used over and over again. They're recyclable. They have multiple uses. Polycarbonate plastics are used in a number of ways. They can be used in food storage containers, and alternatively, they are also used in such things as large water bottles, baby bottles, and they are used and can be used safely in office furniture, medical devices on a large scale, and they're used again in a number of things in the plastic industry.
What states have banned BPA being put in infant products?
To date, the following states have banned the use only in a very limited products. Again, Maine has banned them in reusable food containers and beverage containers. Maryland has banned them in baby bottles and cups that contain infant formula. Massachusetts has also banned the use of these in baby bottles. Minnesota, Delaware, California has banned the use of the plastic in baby bottles and in infant sippy cups. Vermont is one of the largest banners of our product, and it's basically for reusable food and beverage containers.
Has your company tried any alternatives for BPA?
Our company is always looking for more and better cost-effective ways to produce plastics that are used in so many different ways. Let's face it, that's important. We care about the environment, and using them in a number of different ways is very important to us. To be honest with you, as of today, we have found that nothing can beat the advantages we currently have with plastic production with the BPA added. It's also a very reusable product, and the BPA plastics can get into the recycling system. There are so many things that can be done with them after the fact. They can be used over and over again. Our company, along with many others, will continue to use the BPA additives in plastic production, and until we find a more economical use and a different kind of container.
Thanks, Stephen, for taking the time to talk to us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Now on to talk to Dr. Jezebel Franco. Good morning, Dr. Franco.
Hello, I'm Dr. Franco. I'm the head of a nonprofit organization that raises global awareness about environmental hazards. We also work around the city helping to keep public areas clean. It is my pleasure to sit here with Sarah and Stephen. Stephen, let me just congratulate you on a wonderful presentation. I do apologize, but I have to go in for the kill.
I want to start off by having you describe a little bit more about what BPA is.
BPA is a synthetic hormone. It acts like estrogen, meaning it binds to the receptors that take estrogen into the body. It takes very low doses of estrogen for the human body to respond and act as it needs to. If we are constantly exposing ourselves to amounts of BPA, our body may not know how to function or even what to do with them. This is assuming that the BPA that is not excreted through the urine is bound to the above-mentioned receptors.
How many products with BPA does the average American person use in 1 year?
One of the things Stephen was talking about at the beginning of his presentation is how useful BPA has been for us as an industry. At $6 billion and over 200 uses or so, it practically pays for itself. The big thing that's happening right now, however, is that there are pollution problems that we're not taking care of as readily as we should. After you dump the non-recyclables containing BPA into landfills, the chemicals leach into soil and contaminate water and other sources of food for animals.
And how do we know that BPA is passing through our bodies?
Stephen explained about how it takes massive amounts of BPA on a daily basis to harm someone. But let's take a look at how we are exposed. It all starts with the mother. She breastfeeds her baby after having eaten food from metal cans or drinking liquid from plastic water bottles that already contain a possible amount of BPA. The BPA is passed through the body into bodily fluids like breast milk, urine, and blood, and so when the baby is fed, it passes on to them. Not to mention, it also transfers through the umbilical cord in placental nutrients needed for the baby to survive. This means that this baby already comes polluted right out of the box. This issue is made worse when you realize that up to a year in age, the baby could potentially be drinking BPA continuously with baby formula, which may or may not have come from a can that also contained BPA or other forms of food. We are finding BPA in alarming levels in birds, reptiles, mice, and of course, humans. But it isn't the synthetic boogeyman of the world. If we don't continue to manage it, contamination and other ill effects could get out of hand. It doesn't happen right away, of course. It may take years or decades of exposure for effects to show up. But when you do, you will find that there will be a lot of cancers, or that there will be infertility, or there will be low sperm count. And what will you do? We need to prevent these things now before it's too late and our quality of life is diminished beyond repair. Besides containers used to transport food, toys is another product where BPA can be found, mostly in children's toys, which are for ages 3 and below. This may be a concerning aspect of exposure because if you know babies, you know that they put things in their mouth all the time. Taste is one of the ways babies explore their environment. As toys wear down or are licked or bitten, they will undoubtedly release some of that BPA into the child's system.
What type of reproductive issues in youth is related to BPA?
When the body is filled with all these extra hormones it doesn't need, cells may begin to mutate, causing prostate or breast cancers. Women may have premature puberty and other problems with their reproductive systems. We're still not quite sure, but we believe that studies show a possible link between BPA and type 2 diabetes. Other diseases, such as obesity, are linked to exposure to this chemical as well. This is just humans we're talking about too. We haven't considered other types of animals and other ecosystems. There are studies showing BPA has been found in reptiles, mice, and even in newborn infants fed to them by their mother's breast milk. We use mice as models often because they are similar to us in many crucial ways. In mice, reproductive problems have been shown linked with BPA exposure. One of these studies in question was one of the studies conducted in 1998 where the mice exposed to BPA had chromosomal damage.
What are some of the benefiting factors of BPA?
There is some opinion that there is a difference in exposure levels of BPA between the gentrified versus the urban areas. Poorer people buy cheaper products which can contain BPA. Economic solvency means affluent people can afford products which do not contain it or are in as low concentrations as possible. While our organization works to bring information to the public and to expand efforts to lower levels of BPA seen in use today, It isn't to say that we are demonizing BPA entirely. Far from it. We recognize the merits of BPA in some commercial and industrial endeavors, but we need to find a solution for the ongoing overexposure in the natural world. Thank you.
So the best way to limit the amount of BPA that you consume is to read the product label and also research the company that is bottling the product. And that's the end of tonight's story. Stay tuned for school closures near you.